and welcome to the Thirsty Bitches podcast, where we talk about anything under the sun, from books to entertainment to self-help, and even a little spice. I'm Victoria.
I'm Kiara.
And I'm Katalyn.
And today we're here to talk about Guardians Volume 3. Now, I'll be the first to say Guardians is my least favorite of the franchises, but shockingly, I really liked this one. So, I'm excited
when you
to
said
get into
that, when you text me that, I'm just like, oh no, this one's gonna fuck me up.
Interested. I didn't get that text.
Because I didn't know where you were. I wasn't sure if you were back in the
We
country
didn't
yet or
know
not.
where in the world you were.
Yeah.
Also,
I flew back May the 4th.
You guys, she texted me and she's like, I'm gonna post movie content on the story today. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I'm gonna see Guardians. And I'm like, it comes out next week. And she's like, no, it comes out today. And I'm like, oh, what? So I was like a whole week off, everyone.
That's why I was confused when you texted us. I was like, oh shit, you're just seeing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I had Riley and stuff, and like I left.
Yeah.
So Riley and I flew back to Seattle on the 5th. And then her birthday was that weekend, and it was like a very jam-packed weekend. And so I really didn't have time until this past Thursday to see it. So I literally waited a whole week. Guys, I was working my ass off to not see any spoilers.
Good job.
Like, nope.
I'm impressed because there were a lot.
I did see one. There was one spoiler that I did see, and it was when they were getting their names.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried when I saw it, and I cried when I saw it in the theaters too.
We should probably say spoiler warning for both Guardians Volume 3 and probably anything else in the MCU.
Anything Marvel.
Just save this, come back, listen to it after you've watched it. So, anyways.
Yes. Anyways, we should probably do quenchable moments before
we get into it. We're gonna do our quenchable moments. If you're new here, quenchable moment is something happy or exciting that has happened to us over the last week or so that we want to share with each other and with you. So to kick us off, Katalyn, what is your quenchable moment today?
My quenchable moment is on my little European adventure. I met Vanessa and Paulina in person, so I have met every single founder.
Which is absolutely insane.
I didn't think Paulina was going to be there. So, but yeah, we had a ton of fun. Watched a lot of K-pop stuff. And I've met everyone. All absolutely lovely.
Don't lie to me.
It's fun.
I know I'm a pain in the asshole.
What? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And like Vanessa showed me around Farnham. Her roommate is absolutely lovely. Paulina was a ton of fun. Yeah. It's fun.
Yay.
So, yeah, that is a quenchable moment. It's weird to think that I've now met everyone.
So jealous. So jealous. I think I've met everyone in the US. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I just haven't met any of our Europeans, so.
Gotta get to Europe, bestie.
I know. We just talked about this. I'm working on
it. Wherever you want to go, I'll help you plan it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Sounds good.
I love Europe. Let's go.
Good. Victoria, what was your quenchable moment?
My quenchable moment is, if you follow our Instagram, then you saw a while back that I went to IKEA. I had everybody follow along with me that day. And I found this really nice desktop. And it was only $20.
I still find it so strange that you're just like, yeah, no, this desktop, this is good. I'm gonna take.
Well, because I have standing legs, like I have an electric desk, and I was like, I need something bigger because I love the desktop that I have now, but it's just not like large enough anymore. And I was really excited, but I couldn't figure out what to do with it, and I found this really pretty terrazzo print peel and stick wallpaper that I'm going to try. So I think it'll be really cute. So
nice.
That's my quenchable moment. Yeah, it's very exciting.
We just did the peel and stick stuff on our counters, and it looks really good. So
yeah, it does look really good.
It does.
Yeah,
I can't wait for you guys to see it in person.
You guys being adults.
Yeah, I know.
Trying.
Again, excited about weirdly adult things, but you know, I'm in my 30s. These are the things that I look forward to. Anyways, Kiara, what was your
Katalyn's also in her 30s. She's the
30s.
oldest one here.
Yeah, but you go out and travel and do things. It's whatever. I'm in my heart. I am a 71-year-old man. I am the oldest in my soul. That's another conversation for another day. Kira, what is your quenchable moment this week?
I'm only 28 and I get excited to sleep in. I'm 28. So my quenchable moment is, so if you've been following along, you know that I have been having some distressing stuff happening with my work life, which means that I have not been getting like an income. And you guys know that I was not going to be getting unemployment. They redid it, and I'm going to be getting unemployment. I also got a weird deposit in my checking account yesterday. I guess this is my severance, and what I got before was not my severance because I got like almost $3,000.
Don't
so
question it.
I'm not questioning it. I'm just like, I'm taking it. Like, this is my severance. They had emailed me too, making sure, but it was like a weird email. I'm like, yeah, go ahead with direct deposit. Like, that's weird, but sure. So just getting more money than I was like anticipating, which it gives me more of like a buffer than I had before, and so now I'm feeling a little bit better, less stressed. I have more flexibility in my timeline now when it comes to like my rent, because that's like my biggest thing is like making sure I can pay my rent every month. So now I have about 4.5, 5 months worth of rent sitting in my savings account. So, and I'm getting unemployment, so that's going to be like my spending money. So
good.
Now I can just focus.
I'm holding out for that job.
I'm now at this point like I didn't get that one job that I had the interviews for, but I didn't want that job anymore.
Yeah, because the last interview that you had, the guy was a fucking douche. Listen, dude, if you ever see this shit, you are a dickhead. I don't care what company you work for. You don't fucking interview people like that. That's such a dick move. I hope you get fired.
It was so bad.
I hope somebody reports your ass to HR and you get fired because you deserve it. Sorry.
I just know you told me it was bad.
No, she gave me like explicit details of the stuff that he did. Like, no.
I'll send you like the text message, like it, like with all of the details, Katalyn. Like it was, I didn't want to bother you because you were like in Europe, but it was like, it was a bad interview. But we got through it, and I didn't get the job, but it's fine because it just made me realize like I didn't want to be in that industry anymore. Like I just really didn't want to be in private money lending. If I were to like get back into it, the only way I would do it is if it was for Bill. Like that is literally like my line. Like I will only work if it's for his company. Because I know like I will know basically everyone that will be working there. So yeah, I have a bit more income now. I have to apply to 3 jobs a week, though. I have to like show that I'm applying to jobs every week, which is fine. Easy to do. I applied to this week's application process. Maybe every week I'll update you guys. This week's applications.
Yes.
We have 2 Penguin Random House applications and 1 Pokemon Company International.
Oh, you applied to Penguin?
I've been looking every week to see if I just keep applying to Penguin. I keep getting like rejected for the ones that I'm applying for, but I'm just like, if I just keep trying, I feel like at least one of these is gonna stick.
Like I told you on my program, the archivist for Pokemon was on the program.
I know. So, I'm just like, I think the one that I would be most qualified for that I just applied to is like the publishing assistant. I'm like, I could do that. So, but there is one that I really want at University of Washington. So my application did get forwarded to the hiring committee, which means I did pass something.
Yay!
So
we'll see.
That's exciting.
I know. I've done so many applications at this point. I'm like tired of it. But
listen, you're moving and shaking. Things are looking better. That's all we care about.
I know.
On to some things that hurt. At least you guys. I didn't cry, but you know,
I didn't cry
so much.
As the solitary line says, I didn't come to this movie to be sad.
Listen, we all know that I am the crier in this group.
I didn't come to this movie to be sad, damn it.
That's
I am
fair.
so glad that I
Last
went
Saturday.
alone and no one was sitting around me because I was like.
So it was me with Black Panther. It's how you were.
Like, you know how when Infinity War starts and Loki dies and you're just like, oh, the rest of this movie's gonna be fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That was me when Adam was fighting Groot, and I'm like, I swear to fucking God, if Groot dies, I'm going to throw hands because he's already died once.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it again. And then his little head just like
That was funny. I'll give them that one.
a very good Korg moment for me. Korg
Yeah.
and Groot, just their fucking heads just.
Honestly, can I just say, I'm surprised that nobody died.
And I'm really surprised because I'm blanking on the actor's name, the one who plays Drax.
Oh, the guy who plays
Dave
Drax.
Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
He said that he was leaving, so I was expecting him to die.
Adamant. I was too. He was very adamant. He's like, I don't want to. Like, this isn't where I want to be. Like, he's been finding a lot of really good roles outside of Marvel, and he's been doing really good. Like, I think he's one of the success stories where it comes from, like modeling or
Wrestling.
modeling and wrestling. There's because like what's her name? Sophia, the one who is in Daisy Jones and the Six, she's with Robert Pattinson. She is having a great like transition from modeling into acting as well. Like I think, Dave Bautista is having a really good success story because he went to school for acting and he wants to like kind of get out of this role as Drax because obviously we all know Drax is like this big himbo, basically like not Drax the Destroyer.
But it also proves that, but it proves that he has comedy chops too, though. So it has worked really well in his favor.
It has worked for him. So I was expecting like, him to, and every time, like I have a note from when they're fighting in that big weird thing that's like made of human matter.
Oh yeah, the HQ.
He got like shot twice. I'm like,
he got shot in the chest.
I really thought this was it. I really thought Drax was going to die now. But like no one did. And I feel like we're gonna jinx ourselves. Like I really do. Like maybe Marvel's like giving us a minute because we know we did just get a lot of deaths at the end of Endgame.
Well, we had a lot of deaths at the end of Endgame. We had, obviously because Chadwick died, we had the loss of Black Panther, and we lost Queen Ramonda.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're not going to.
Yeah,
we're just gonna stab your heart in other ways. In this movie.
Mm-hmm. But I kind of want to start off from the beginning really quick with the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the trailer, and in my opinion, it made us think that this whole thing was going to be about them, going to find Gamora, getting her memories back, like all this stuff. Because we saw Guardians in the last Thor film, and they're like, we're going to go off and look for Gamora. Like, we're going to go do this. And so, like, that was, like, in my head, I'm just like, they're searching for Gamora. Like, we got their little short. Like, I think just because of, like, all of, like, the scenes with just, like, Gamora in it, I was like, this is gonna be about her. And it was about Rocket. Like, I felt bamboozled.
I don't think I watched any of the trailers.
I was hoodwinked. I was bamboozled. I'm just like, please, if anyone else has like watched the trailers, like let me know. Like, it was this also your experience? Because like, I was like, this is not what I was expecting coming into this.
You're ready to fight.
Yeah, I was actually really glad that it was centered around Rocket because everybody knows I don't like Chris Pratt. I also just don't like Star-Lord as a character. I think he's a childish man baby, and I wish he would have died. But I think that's why I liked it so much more, is because he wasn't the focus. Like, yes, he was very prevalent in trying to save Rocket, but everything was about Rocket.
I feel like there was also just like a lot of growth for each character individually in this film. Like, a lot of growth. You have Rocket kind of like coming to terms with like who he was as he's like on this table dying. The only person I feel like, no wait, there was also growth with Groot because his body armor is a lot different than when he was actually fully grown last time.
He literally grew.
Drax, he had a lot of growth. Nebula had a fuck ton of growth. Mantis, like, she did too. You could see Gamora, like, coming back, like, into it a little bit. I just feel like there was, like, a lot of growth across the board for these characters.
Yeah, I loved seeing where Nebula is gone. It was funny when her arm first changed. I was like, oh my god, she has Stark Tech. And I was like, we can't really confirm if that is Stark Tech, but it is nanites. And the one moment in the entire movie that caught me off guard emotionally was after Rocket has been brought back and he's talking and she's like, you're okay.
Nebula
And she has like
loses
her
it.
moment. And I was like, oh my god. Like that one caught me.
She cares.
Yeah. Because it was like her one like really emotional human moment. Especially after seeing her constantly fight with Mantis the whole time about like, I'm sorry, you can't feel anything. Blah, blah, blah. I really liked Mantis a lot throughout the movie too. I felt like she was a good balance of like helping people deal with their emotions.
Yes.
She was really good. And I also really liked Drax at the end with all of the kids. Because that's not something that we really
Drax
got to
with
see.
The kid.
That's not something that we got to see as Drax as a dad, and that was his whole driving force is the loss of his family. And then you get to see him interact with those kids, and it was really funny to kind of see him show Nebula like you can ask people instead of just assuming the worst of everyone because he could speak the language. And she's like, why didn't you say anything? And he's like, you never asked.
Yeah.
So
also the fact he could speak that language, like it seems so funny. Random.
Yeah. But it was I really enjoyed it. I thought, of course, the flashbacks of Rocket's life were so unbelievably sad.
Especially him as like a baby.
Oh my god, that was gut wrenching.
And then he rescued the baby.
Yeah, but then he's like, I can't just take the end. He's like, I can't just take them. We have to save all of them.
All of them.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, back at the beginning, I liked seeing what they had done with Nowhere. I liked seeing Nebula kind of come into her own and be a leader in the community. I loved the introduction of Adam because that was love so Will funny. Poulter, but
he wasn't ready for Will Poulter.
I told you it was Will Poulter.
I forgot.
Oh my god, I love that man.
I literally saw this 36 hours after getting back to the US.
All I know is that like I was so happy that they were finally bringing back like this like
very strongly disagreed with that scene.
Yes. That dog said no. I love that they brought back like this tiny pinprick of a storyline from an end credit scene from the very first Guardians movie, which came out in like end of phase 3, phase 4. Like I was so mad because we had never seen the Adam storyline like play out. I'm just like, where is it? Like they completely forgot about it, but like now they brought it back.
Yeah, no, it was at the beginning of it was volume 2 that they were dealing with the what the fuck are they called? The gold people.
The Sovereign.
Yeah, the Sovereign.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know things. Yeah. No, I was so excited the moment that Will was announced as Adam Warlock. He did a really good job. I love the fact that they played into the fact that he was literally just born and acted like a child at times.
It was giving me Rocky Horror Picture vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
It's okay.
Hello to our guest host today.
And then when they were in the HQ, Peter in the elevator explaining like his whole love life with Gamora, and Nebula's like, you left up some pieces there, but that's the that's most of it. Yeah, that's the gist.
The dry humor.
Nebula was great.
My favorite.
They were so good.
I loved that moment too with Adam where they've landed on the perfect planet, whatever, or counter Earth. And he's shooting at people or something like that. He's like, I don't like the way this makes me feel.
him with the like alien dog,
Yes.
and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna train it.
Oh, yeah. And he like doesn't kill it.
Yeah.
It was the cutest little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that was such a great character to add. I can't wait to see his journey.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something, and then we'll circle back to why at the end, because I feel like that's really a really good like ending thing we can talk about.
Mhm.
But everyone in the group understanding what Groot's saying, like for a long time, we're all just like, I don't know, but they all understand.
Yeah.
And Gamora just being like, huh? Like,
Yeah,
what?
like I get it. I know you're Groot.
And I just thought it was so funny because I'm like, yeah, I just understand him. And obviously, like, you know, we'll talk about it near the end, but now we know why.
Yeah.
That was, oh god, that was so fucking funny.
Yeah,
I
that
felt like
was
this one
good.
was probably, I think this one is probably my favorite one out of the three.
Oh, for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Drax trying to lay down on the couch.
That whole sequence.
It's oblong.
God, it was so good. And then
also
Nebula be like making noises at him, like I can see you. Oh my gosh, it makes me think back to when he was like, if I hold really, really still.
And Mantis is like, hi Drax. And him like slowly going like this, and Peter's like, Drax.
I also really love too with Mantis when she was arguing with Nebula and she called Drax to him. He's like, you think I'm stupid? And she's like, forget that.
Oh my gosh.
I also love Mantis like making that random guy fall in love with Drax, and like that's like a normal thing that he does.
And he's like, not again.
That was good.
That was great.
Damn it. So this film, I believe, is PG-13, if I'm correct. I think it's
yeah, and we got an F-bomb.
And we got one F-bomb.
I was so caught off guard.
I was like, because I had just watched this this TikTok about with Mary and why am I blanking on his name? Lord of the Rings characters, and they're just like, you know, if you could put one F-bomb in it, where would you put it? And so when they came up, I'm just like, and it would. I think it's so funny because it's like that moment is something that everyone in the audience can relate to because we're like, open the fucking door.
Like we looked at each other, we were like, did he actually just say that?
It was so funny, and it was just like so human of him to be like, just open the door.
Oh my god, it was so good. I was like, wow, I might forgive him for a fraction of a second just for that one. Because it just caught me so off guard because I forgot that they added it in, that they can do that in a PG-13 now. Oh man, that was so good.
It was so funny.
Drax tricking Mantis. Be like, yeah, we're gonna ride.
Into getting
right over. Right over here.
Oh my god. No, I literally wrote this line word for word. And it is after, you know, I knew that when Peter was like, you know what to do, and he like handed all those weapons to Groot, I'm like, oh, Groot's gonna hide those in him. And like they let Groot walk through because they're just like, oh, he's like this tree thing, like he can't hold it. He has like all these weapons like hidden inside of him. Didn't even scan him. So like after that scene where he pulls it all out, which was really fucking cool, I wrote this. So they both jump out of this window of this building thing that's like word for word, quite a novel escape plan, jumping headfirst into an exploding planet. And then I wrote, bro, this isn't the first time they've done this. Because Ego's planet, they did the same fucking thing.
It's their go-to plan. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. And it was just like so
it
funny.
Obviously
but, like,
works.
Groot got wings. And they fell right past Nebula, Mantis, and Drax.
I know. And I was like,
they're
isn't
all
that
so
just
fucking
the way?
oblivious.
Yeah.
They're so fucking oblivious.
100%. I was like, of course that's what's gonna happen. Is Nebula's gonna go to stand guard and then be like, okay, I have to get on this, and then Drax is obviously not going to listen and not stay with the ship. I thought it was funny though seeing Gamora try and fly the ship. And
just her like saving Rocket. I was like, she may not remember anything, but those feelings are still there. Like when she sees like these people, like she still cares about them, even if she doesn't think she does.
I don't think it's so much that the feelings for them are there. It's just that she had because she's been with the Ravagers, she's starting to feel empathy for others. And so now she's getting to the point where she was at the beginning of the first Guardians, where she's like, okay, I'm not a human piece of shit. I'm not a weapon for my father. Like, they're obviously trying so hard to keep him alive. Like, I can respect that.
But also, there's like there's studies that have been done on patients who have like amnesia and like dementia and stuff, that even though they don't have their memories of it, the feelings of when they see certain people are there. They're like, I don't know who you are, but I know that I care about you. Like, I can feel that. And so like that's
not
what
I can see this Gamora is, though. She's a completely different iteration.
No, they even said when Peter was talking in the elevator, he said, you died, but then you came back because they gave the stone back. So it's the same Gamora. Because that Gamora went back to her universe. This is the same Gamora. They like Peter literally said it. He's like, you came back from the dead. I don't know why you came back and no one else did, but you did. He's like, maybe it's the fancy Cliff thing. I don't know. But this is our Gamora from our universe.
I'm gonna look.
She just like has like a memory loss. Well, he was saying a lot of things in quick succession in that elevator. Like,
yeah, that's why I'm like, because if it were the case of like,
that Gamora went back to her universe.
No, she ran off. We don't know
she
what
went
happened
back
to her.
No, I saw her go. She went back. I remember seeing that.
I'm gonna look into it. We'll talk about this at another point, but I'm gonna look into it.
Positive that Peter said in this film, you came back from the dead. Like you.
No, I know he said that, but I think he's it's a more nuanced iteration of what he's saying. We'll talk about it later. Anyways,
same one.
But yeah, I think she definitely felt empathy for everyone having been separated from her father, and I thought it was good that she tried to save him. I thought it was really funny when Adam comes in, like he's ready, guns blazing, and then he just passes out. I was like, oh, poor baby. Because he was just fucking up stuff left and right.
Yeah.
He's a child.
From the very beginning.
He is a child. Poor child.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
The Counter Earth, the animal people, that was something Zootopia. I was not expecting to see.
I was like, Zootopia.
You and Zootopia.
And that I liked the action sequence when they were essentially killing all of the scientists. What the fuck is his name? This is why I need to start paying more attention to Guardian shit, even though I don't like them.
All I know is that Peter said Purple Nurple at one point.
That was good.
He did.
The insults were good in this one.
I don't know if you guys caught it, but when they were in their rocket, like had separated, they gotten off like the bigger ship, and they were going towards the big red building thing.
Mm-hmm.
When they had let out those like weird evil looking things, and they were all over Rocket's ship, and he was like killing them and getting them off. I don't know if you caught it, but the sound, like the song that was playing, the track, it was the Avengers track that was playing as he was doing that. It was like a iteration of the Avengers track. And I'm like, I caught the Avengers theme song with Rocket.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I was like, oh my god. And I thought it was so cute because it was just for Rocket. Yeah. And he's the only one that was, you know, him and Nebula were the ones that, which I think is why Nebula.
No, Groot was there too.
No, Groot dusted.
Oh, that's right. He did dust. I forgot about that.
Groot dusted, and so it was just Nebula and Rocket during all that. And I think that's why they got so close, and why Nebula felt so deeply when Rocket came back, because they had these 5 years together where it was just the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that he did like upgrades for her.
Yeah, he did the upgrades for her.
He did the upgrades for her, but I think that's just her being like, well, he did these upgrades for me. I think it's her kind of like covering her.
But actually,
Nebula,
I don't feel things. He just did this for me.
We know.
You have feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I keep thinking about too when they're in the elevator and they're arguing, and Gamora's like, it sounds like more like her. And then he has this moment. He's like, I just never noticed how black your eyes are. And then she's like, yeah, my dad ripped my eyeballs out and replaced them. And he's like, oh, well, he chose a really nice set. I was like, what the?
They're so dumb.
Like,
oh my god.
I was like, you're so stupid. Oh my god. The flashbacks. I want to talk about the flashbacks. It was really upsetting, especially because we still live in a society where animal cruelty is prevalent and people test on animals even though they really should not.
I wrote a comment. It was like, what did it say? This animal testing is making me sick.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that the four of them had solace in one another. And I was hoping against hope that they would survive, but clearly that did not happen. That was so sad. Seeing them name themselves, I wanted to rip my hair out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, when Rocket has his Harry Potter moment where he sees his loved ones in the afterlife, and Lila's like, of course you can come with us, but not right now.
Yet.
Not yet.
That was sad. I'll give them that one. That was very
and Peter was like, I'm not letting him go. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
Okay, but every time he's like, my best friend, and Drax in the background, second best friend.
Second best friend. Really had to emphasize that. Oh my gosh.
Drax.
I thought Drax was really funny in this one. Gosh. So much happened that I just can't even. And then the whole ending, seeing the scientists turn on the head honcho and being like, "You're killing all of us. You're gonna get all of us killed because of your weird obsession
with this raccoon." Oh my god!
And he now knows.
At this point, he's like, "I'm not a raccoon," and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm a raccoon. You're a trash panda."
Yeah.
But then he says his full name, I'm Rocket Raccoon, and that's the first time he's done that. That was really exciting. But yeah, and then seeing him go like full nuclear meltdown. I really liked seeing Mantis calm the giant alien creatures. She was like,
that are now like her pets.
Like, they don't eat people, they don't
batteries.
Matter. Yeah.
Which they should have realized. I mean, Nebula wasn't there, but Drax was there. They fought that monster at the beginning of Volume 2. It was in that beginning sequence when Groot is dancing around while they're fighting something. That is the monster that they're fighting, and the monster's there because it wants the Sovereign's batteries.
Yeah, that Rocket stole. I thought that was really cool. I feel like sometimes they do this weird thing with Mantis where they flip-flop her back between like being very, very emotionally intelligent and then being an absolute dumbass, and I wish they would stop doing that. It was a lot better in this one. She still had her like moments of being like,
well, I think that there's a reason for that. I think it's because she was with Ego for so long, and he was a narcissistic bastard who made her feel like she couldn't be like her intelligent self. And I think that she's like, this is her learning how to grow out of that, and that's why like at the end of the film she's like, I have to go learn and be like, who am I supposed to be? I think this was her growth period.
I'm excited to see where she goes from that, because we know obviously we're not going to see Drax again. So it'll be interesting to see how she operates by herself, because they were really a duo. Like I never saw them as like a romantic thing, but I always saw them as like a kind of platonic
best friends
situation.
They're best friends,
even though they
Drax
don't
is like
realize it.
Drax is like, no, I'm Peter's best friend. It's like, no, you're Mantis's best friend.
Did you also catch that they called out the Kevin Bacon thing from? Oh, this is in the end credits.
It's the very, and I texted you that it's like the very last thing. It says, and I love that they did that. There's two moments where they kind kind of tie back to that Christmas celebration. So like if you didn't watch it, you're just like, wait, I'm confused. And it was one, the alien abduction Kevin Bacon tells all, but also when they say to Mantis at the beginning, they're just like, he's your brother, like you say something. And if you hadn't watched the Christmas like
and you
one,
don't know
you'd
that
be
they're
like, wait,
yeah.
they're siblings?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
I missed all of that.
Ego is both of their dad. He
Yeah.
was Mr. Daddy owed both of them, so
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. The soundtrack, as we know, the first movie, the soundtrack is the 70s. Second movie, it's in the 80s, and this time we got the 90s and the thousands, which was really exciting. They had the fucking Beastie Boys. I was like,
yeah. I remember they were like sitting there like dancing. There's like this teenager sitting next to me, like, fuck.
what's happening?
Was a good soundtrack.
Like, I love that they had, you know, Florence at the end with Dog Days, but like when they threw in the Beastie Boys, I was like, this is my shit.
Okay, but speaking of Florence, seeing the video that she did, I don't know if you guys saw this, but she recorded her reaction to seeing it in the movie and she fucking cried. And I was like, that's so sweet and touching.
Well, I feel like it was such a good song for the
that
moment. Yeah. Because they're like so much had happened for all of them. And I feel like they had all kind of fought through their demons, and Rocket was like the last one, and he had gotten through it, and there's like nothing else to worry about now. Like they can just be like these saviors.
Yeah, and it was that whole like ending sequence was really great because you kind of got to see
Groot still dancing.
Culmination of everyone's skills as they've progressed through the franchise, like seeing the one guy finally learn how to use the headpiece. That was really great. Seeing the dog.
God.
Finally calling her a good dog.
Say not a bad dog.
They have a good dog.
That was great. You thought I was a good dog.
Yeah. Seeing them rescue all of the kids was really great.
Rocket being adamant about the animals.
Yes.
And because you could like, he was so torn because he had all of the raccoons on him, and he's like, I can't save the rest of them. But then his team came through, and I'm like,
that was such a great moment to see them like have their moment and be there for him, and for him to like know that he's not alone, and them like obviously making that last run. I really thought that Peter was gonna die. I thought that was gonna be it, because he gets caught in space. You see his body swelling up. He's freezing. He doesn't have the mask.
I was like, we just went through this at the end of the last one. I'm not doing. And then here comes Adam. And did you guys notice that like it was that the scene, like that painting where he's like, like, this is fucking stupid.
It was great. I like that they had him have this like really quick redemption arc, so that way he could come into like where he's supposed to progress canonically. So that way we can transition it into that.
Well, I felt really like it worked well because like they did it well because obviously like he's a child.
Yeah,
and
mentally
that was
he's a child.
That was his mom. Like that's who he saw as his mother, and he like, you know, this guy killed her, and he was like, well, I'm gonna work with the people who have been going against you this whole time now because you just killed my mom.
Yeah,
and I think every woman had that same reaction.
Even just those little sprinkles of like childish empathy of being like, I don't like the way that this is making me feel, or having the empathy towards the little like alien space dog, like that kind of showcase like clearly he emotionally feels vastly different than what his creators wanted. So I think that also helped with his quick turnaround. I really liked him trying to get in on the group hug at the end. He's like,
oh my god, yes. I wrote that Adam hugging at the end. He's like, is this? And then there's just Gamora just like over on the ground being like, what the fuck?
She's like, But I loved seeing her at the end with her Ravager family, and like seeing that she clearly does have love from them, and that she found her family again, even if it's not with the Guardians.
I love that at the end she's able to understand Groot because And I feel like I think I feel the worst for Groot in that situation with Gamora, because obviously, like, they all met when they were all fully grown, but then Groot died and he was reborn, and so, like, Gamora was this, like, pinnacle part of his, like, growth from a child into an adolescence into a teen, and he lost her. And so for him to be working with her again in this last one as, like, you know, an adult, and being like, you could tell that he was very hesitant around her until that end scene, and he was like, "It was good working with you again, like, working with you." And he understood her, and you could see, like, his expression, like, change, like, "Oh my god, she understands me now." Like, I was like, "That's my baby Groot!"
Yeah.
That's my baby.
That's my boy right there.
And then just seeing the celebration of everybody in Nowhere, like, trying to acclimate these kids and the animals and have their little dance party, that was super sweet. But then, of course, we get the moment where Groot says, "I love you guys," and we understand.
And so I think I sent you guys, like, the thing for it, but James Gunn, he confirmed that this was not Groot, like, actually knowing how to say things.
Yeah.
This was the first time that we're understanding it, because now Groot saw us as a family.
Yeah.
And so we're part of Groot's family, and I absolutely lost it.
The entire theater just went,
I know. First I thought I misheard it, because I was like, I was paying attention and I was listening and I was like, was that Vin Diesel? I was like, is he voicing somebody else? And then it clicked and I was like, oh my god, I understand him. Like, we understood that.
And so it's like, it's not, and now we know it's not them learning Groot's language. It's just the language of the trees and, like, his people, of like, if you are seen as family, if you are loved by Groot, then you get to, like, understand
him.
I'm like, oh my god.
I know. It was very touching. And then I was really surprised that they didn't have, like, the aesthetic credit scene like we normally have with Marvel movies. Like, we usually have where they're doing, like, these big panoramic shots through, like, the ship or across shields and all of that stuff. We didn't have that. They immediately went into standard credits. We got our first post-credit scene, which was our new little gaggle of Guardians.
Yeah.
Which was really fun. Groot is fucking massive.
I was like, oh, Groot's the big thing.
Yes. Didn't realize that was him at first until, of course, he stood up, which was the intended effect.
He really leveled up from his last fully grown.
Yeah. Truly, he's gigantic now.
And Mr. Man went to the gym and he bulked up.
Yeah. Rocket being a little leader, which we love.
When Peter was like, "You're the captain," I'm like,
yeah. And everyone, like, agreed.
Because in the first film, he was like, "I'm the captain." Peter's like, "No, I'm the captain." They were fighting this whole time, and now, like, Peter's like, "You're the captain," and I'm like,
"You're the captain."
It was really good. I like seeing him interact with his new team, and it was really funny. All of those people running by in terror, and then they're playing the music. Like, what is that? Like, what is this monster music? And then, of course, we get the final post-credit scene, which is Peter returning to Earth to find his grandfather.
That made me cry when he hugged his grandpa. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because here's Peter thinking the whole time that his grandfather didn't want him. And, of course, his grandfather, as soon as he sees him, immediately recognizes who he is and is just in tears because he's so relieved to see him and that he's alive. And he had, like, all of these photos of Peter, and it was a nice little reunion moment. And then they're talking, and that's when we see the Kevin Bacon snippet in the newspaper. And it's just,
you can, like, with that, you can it kind of guides the timeline of, like, where we are in relation to that and other things that are happening on Earth. I love those little things they throw in there, just like, this is how long it's been.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that, like, not every post-credit scene has to be some, like, crazy high-intensity, like, predictive moment. Like, it can just be cool, chill, like, literally just Peter eating a bowl of cereal.
But also, I think that was a little, like, predictive because he's like, I'm a grown-ass man, like, I don't want to be mowing lawns all the time. And after that, it said like Star-Lord will return. So you're just like, okay, so he's going to be a part of this like new Avengers group. Like you can just tell because he's there, he's on Earth, he's with all these people. Like, just how is he going to fit in?
Gonna find
sort of
life
thing.
very monotonous as a
Yeah.
non-Avenger.
Listen, if he stays less of a douchebag like he is right now, I can live with that. I really, honestly, Endgame just not Endgame. Yeah, Infinity War just did it for me. I wanted him to fucking die immediately after all that shit. I wanted him dead. I was like, you stupid motherfucker. Anyways, that's a whole other. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
There was a reason for it. Ask Doctor Strange.
But is there? There are a lot of theories coming out now that Doctor Strange might actually be the real villain in this situation. Out of the 14 million possibilities, every single version that he found, the only way to win was for Tony Stark to die. His only like real competition.
No, but I just saw one. I thought I sent it to you, but I just saw one where the reason why that one was the only one that was going to work was because if Tony had survived that, it wouldn't have been a suit of armor around the world. It would have been a suit of armor across the universe, and he would have ultimately turned into a different version of Ultron.
Yeah.
And he's like, we can't let that happen.
I just miss Tony. Okay.
We all miss Tony, but it was time. It was time. We all know it.
Final thoughts. Overall feelings.
I liked it.
Nowhere really acting like Noah's Ark.
That was honestly hilarious. I can't wait for us to get more backstory on Nowhere, especially now that we have the Eternals and the expanded universe.
I'm because we know it's ahead of one of these beings. So like why is the head just floating around? Why do we have just like a random celestial head? Where'd it come from? How'd it get there? Who killed it? I feel like that's gonna be like really interesting. My theory is Kang. I think Kang did it.
Which I'm curious to see how they're going to work that shit out because Jonathan Majors has been dropped as far as I know. So,
listen, there's so much happening with those.
Yeah. Anyways.
And he did so well as Kang. I'm just like, you fucking asshole. Like, you horrible person. Why'd you do that? We had you. You were so good.
Katalyn's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. We can explain it after.
I didn't mind the fight scenes in this movie. They weren't too bad.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like super like normal fight scene heavy. It was definitely very Guardians style of fight scenes. Yeah. So, which was good. So.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Katalyn, at the very end when Nebula, Drax, and Mantis are in like that cage thing and they're like lift the cage and it lifts. I was getting a lot of Deadly Education vibes of them being in like this dark room.
Oh my god,
with, like, monsters.
Yes.
I was like,
Mom,
that's how I envisioned it.
Which I need to finish that series, but we can
I do too. But I was like, I know Katalyn probably had the same thought as me. I just know it.
I was just like, this is not some Deadly Education bullshit. What is happening here?
I'm like, it's the lowest level. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my so goodness. Funny.
Yeah.
If you read it, you would know.
One day, maybe. We'll see. Anyways, I'm honestly really surprised that I liked it as much as I did. Because I think it helped that I went in with my expectations like on the ground because I just generally don't like Guardian stuff. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well filmed. I'm excited now to see what James Gunn does with the DCEU because it's obviously hot garbage right now. And I really wish they would have just scrapped the Flash movie because Ezra Miller is a piece of garbage.
Yeah, but the thing is, people are saying that this is like
they're going to use it as a reboot.
DC. This is like the best DC film. People are saying,
and it's
like,
such a shame. I'll be honest, I'm gonna bootleg it because I don't want to give any money to them.
That's what Emily and I do.
But yeah, that's a whole other topic for another day. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought of Guardians. I'm curious to see how everyone received it. It seems to be pretty positive so far. Everybody seems to be really enjoying it. I think it was a nice refresh for the Marvel Cinematic Universe as things have been, because it's been like so much sadness constantly. So it was, even though I'm surprised everybody survived, it was nice that everybody survived. So yeah, just hit us up on Instagram. You can email us at tbp.staythirsty@gmail.com, or you can send us a Q&A now on Spotify or comment on our YouTube channel. Make sure to watch the episodes there. They're a lot of fun. But yeah, for now, Kiara, will you take us out with an affirmation?
I will. So today's affirmation is, I am in tune with the universe and my surroundings. The universe always watches over me.
Oh.
There it is.
And I didn't do an all for the last one.
I did it.
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Make sure to tune in on Tasty Tuesdays and Thirsty Thursdays for all new episodes. Be sure to subscribe and follow our socials listed in the description. Please make sure you like, rate, and leave a review for the podcast to help boost us across platforms. Helps more than you know. Have a lovely day. And remember, stay thirsty, bitches.